Right now called a scripture, kid. Anybody can write something right now. So who wrote Jasher then? Who wrote Jasher? So, but it don't matter it don't matter now.
Said we them chosen people. Moses walked us all out of Egypt and gave his laws, and he said we supposed to keep them. They said we exposing people, but really we examine the facts. It's hard to hide when we seek and expose your evil.
Right, so I believe in the volume of the book. Right. So you gotta read all the books. Read all the books. For the books that have been taken out.
Yeah, we read the apocryphal right here. Like there's certain books that you don't really deal with. Like I know like we don't read Enoch or we don't read. No. So you read the book of Enoch.
The book of Jasher.
No, we don't read that either. Now we're not disanoning that there is a book of Jasher, or that there is a book of Jubilees because it say that in the scriptures, right? But the books that are in circulation now, the book of Enoch, and the book of Jasher, and the book of Jubilees, they don't have no ancient manuscripts that we can go back to confirm that those are the actual books. You see what I'm saying? And even when you go into the book of Enoch, the book of Jubilees, the book of Jasher, they have clear contradictions when you look at the scriptures that we have, and then you look at the book of Enoch, or you look at the book of Jasher, you look at the book of Jubilees. There's clear contradictions in there that we can say we can't use that. You see what I'm saying? Even when you look at the book of Enoch,
the book of Jasher,
yeah,
it speaks on Cain.
Cain, right?
It speaks more deeper. It goes deeper, like who killed Cain, or
right.
And Scripture doesn't like what version of the Bible are y'all reading?
When we come out here, we read the KJV, but we do, in our studies, we do comparison. We might go into a different version and get a better sense of what it's saying.
Okay, so I do the King James. Yeah, I do King James too. So Old Testament and New Testament, right?
Right.
And you read the book of Jasher? Have you ever read it?
No. I know there's brothers up here that have read the book.
I know contradictions. So.
There are contradictions. I know a brother, where's he at? Yeah, the brother, he used to go into it. He used to read it. I never got to that point when I was reading it, but I'm trying to find, because I do have some, but if you want to go into it real quick,
yeah, so when you look at the book of Jasher, when you go to chapter 80, you have what would be known as the pseudonym. In the book of Jasher, it talks about the plagues in Egypt. Now, when you go to the book, chapter 80, and it talks about the pseudonym, where would you find the pseudonym at in the book of Exodus? Right. Because the pseudonym, when you read, we can actually go to it if a brother wants to look it up in Jasher chapter 80. Chapter 80? Yeah, it's a animal or a creature with long arms that reach down the roofs of the houses of the Egyptians and unlock the doors. Where's that at in the scripture? We're gonna show you, yeah. Jasher chapter 80.
Jasher chapter 80.
Yeah, book of Jasher. I got it.
Now you go all the way down to verse, I want to say 23 or 20.
Yeah, it's right here. I got you.
Come on.
Sir, can you start at 19?
Yeah, start verse 19. Come on. We're gonna show you right here, brother.
This is the book of Jasher, chapter 80 and verse 19. And when the Egyptians hid themselves on account of the swarm of animals, they locked their doors after them. And God ordered the Sulanuth.
The what?
The Sulanuth.
Now, when you actually look up what the Sulanuth will look like, it's madness. Let's keep reading.
And God ordered the Sulanuth, which was in the sea, to come up and go into Egypt.
To do what?
To go up and go into Egypt.
Where was this at in the book of Exodus? A creature named the Sulanuth that came out of the sea and went into the land of Egypt. It's not there. Let's keep reading. Come on.
And she had long arms.
And she had what?
And she had long arms.
So what is this creature? It has long arms. Read.
10 cubits in length.
10 what?
10 cubits in length.
Read.
Of the cubit of a man. And she went upon the roofs and uncovered the raftering.
And did what?
And uncovered the raftering.
So this big creature had long arms and was just delicately uncovering the raftings of the roofs and did what?
And uncovered the raftering and flooring and cut them. and stretched forth her arm into the house.
And did what?
And stretched forth her arm into the house.
And stretched forth the arm into the house. And read it. Keep reading.
And removed the lock.
And what?
And removed the lock.
Why did this bust down the door? This sounds like madness. Like Santa Claus. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Which is what the brother's trying to show you. It's a clear contradiction according to the Bible. Because where is this at in the plagues of Egypt? About a Sulanuf coming down, coming from the ocean, going into the roof, and reaching down and unlocking the door handles of the Egyptians.
And what was the purpose? Was it for the Israelites or was it for the Egyptians?
It was for the Egyptians. Keep reading.
And stretched forth her arm into the house, and removed the lock and the bolt, and opened the houses of Egypt.
Read.
Afterward came the swarm of animals into the houses of Egypt.
Where was this account in the Bible? It's not there. So that's a contradiction.
Now, look at Jasher, even when you go into what those books are called, Jasher, Jubilees, and like Enoch, what do they classify? Those books like that?
It was just books that was taken out.
No, they're called pseudo-apocryphal or something like that. Now, when you go in the word pseudo, that means fake. So,
Pseudoscience and okay, I got you.
So when you go into those books, those were, again, like I said, for all the book of Isaiah, book of Jeremiah, all these different books, you have primary sources, ancient sources that you go into documents.
Who is Jasher?
Now, Jasher, does it say in the Bible who Jasher is?
Well,
if somebody
no.
give me that.
It don't say who.
It don't say who he is.
Because it's not a hope.
Huh?
It's not a hope. Jasher is in a person.
So who is Jasher?
Jasher is, the book of Jasher is the journal that was passed down from generation to generation.
I want to look at something.
So they would,
Jasher, the 81st
Jasher isn't like a man or anything like that.
Jasher,
Nor is
Jasher
it a prophet.
81, go to verse 4. I'm going to see because you were saying that.
So it's just journals. That's it. That's all. That's all it is.
But he's saying.
Okay.
No, you can read what you got.
Go ahead.
He was saying that Jasher. You were saying that you can't read about Jasher in the Bible.
No, I'm
You
saying
can
he's
read
not
that.
a man. He's not.
Right.
He's not a man.
Now,
the book of Jasher is just journals that have been passed down,
So-
and it was more detailed.
Right, and I get what you're saying is more detailed, but there are contradictions in the book of Jasher. Right. Give me Jasher 81:40.
This is Jasher chapter 81 and verse 40.
Bring it up.
And when the children of Israel had entered the sea.
Now this is talking about what? This is referring to when the Israelites went through the Red Sea, right?
The Egyptians came after them, and the waters of the sea resumed upon them, and they all sank in the water.
Right, and remember the Egyptians, what happened to the Egyptians?
They sank in the water.
They sank in the water, read.
And not one man was left excepting Pharaoh.
Except who?
Excepting Pharaoh.
Now, is that true?
Yes.
That Pharaoh was the only one that survived.
Yes.
So give me Psalms.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 106, verses 11. And the waters covered their enemies.
Right.
There was not one of them left.
There was what?
There was not one of them left.
So in the Bible, it says there wasn't anyone left. Somebody give me Psalms 136.
So there's nobody in Egypt left.
No. Of Pharaoh's army that came after them, you can read that Pharaoh came after them too.
Okay, but there were still people in Egypt.
Yes, there was people in Egypt, but the book of Jasher says that Pharaoh survived that.
Pharaoh destroyed everything that had to do with the Israelites. That's why they call it the Hyksos period. Some people refer to it as the Hyksos, but it's really the Israelites that was over there at the time.
That's not true.
And that was so
during the period of the Hyksos, you can read about the people called I gotta find it. But there was a people in Egypt that was subjugated, that were slaves. The name is escaping me right now. I have to find that. Give me 1 second.
But in the Hyksos period, that's to do away with Israel. They don't want no remembrance of Israel being over in Egypt, period.
No, that's not the word.
So if you go to like the Kemet doctrines and all that, they destroyed everything that had to do with Israel. That's why Pharaoh was there, because he wanted nothing to do with them because of how powerful God was, the Most High was. So that's why we don't have no artifacts. That's why when people say, well, why don't the Israelites have artifacts? Because they took everything and destroyed it, because they destroyed their whole lineage
And not
in
to
a
cut
sense.
you off, but
See what I'm saying?
that still not dealing with the point that in the book of Jasher, it says that not one remained of that, but Pharaoh survived. In the Bible, it says not one remained. So,
But Pharaoh was Pharaoh there in the Red Sea. Was Pharaoh in the Red Sea?
Yes, that's what we're trying to tell you.
So why was Pharaoh chasing the Israelites in the Red Sea?
Because he was that's the record.
So who
of
was
what
the
happened.
Pharaoh at the time?
The Pharaoh that went after the Israelites.
But there was many pharaohs.
Yes, but there was a Pharaoh that had to rule at one point.
Exactly. So the Pharaoh always ruled.
Yes, but
he never leaves the throne.
that's not true.
So why?
You read in the ancient world, right? In the ancient world, now you have this world that we in right now mixed up. Somebody give me that song 136. Somebody has Psalms 136.
Yeah, verse 15.
Yeah,
But the Pharaoh was still there though.
But
it was always
today
the
you
Pharaoh.
have President Biden. He doesn't go out and fight wars. Right?
Exactly.
But
yeah.
in the ancient world, that wasn't true. The kings always went out in
He
war.
wasn't a king.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Pharaoh wasn't.
You know king. So who's Pharaoh?
Joseph reigned king over. If Joseph ruled, he set Pharaoh. Pharaoh is not a king. Pharaoh isn't a king.
No, that's not true.
Because Joseph sat next to him.
You said Pharaoh. I think it's Exodus 44 chapter. You got what I want?
Real quick.
And it's the book of Exodus, chapter 6 and verse 11. Go in, speak unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Speak unto Pharaoh, king of
It
Egypt.
says speak unto Pharaoh, king. That's the name of the king of Egypt. That's what they call the king of Egypt, Pharaoh. So, and what you said, we're going to get that in Genesis. Joseph was not over all, but he was second in command over all the land.
And he ruled over Egypt.
Right, but he was not over Pharaoh.
He wasn't over Pharaoh.
That's
I never said that.
But so Pharaoh was the king.
Right.
There was no bigger, higher ruler than Pharaoh.
Right.
You believe in King David, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you're saying King David was the Pharaoh?
No.
No, see, that's what I'm saying.
No,
you
brother,
can't say a Pharaoh. That's two different titles.
Brother, no, it's not. Just like who's the ruler in America? Who's the king of America?
He's just a figurehead. But
I get that, but what's the title of the top man in America?
The chief and commander.
The president, right?
Chief and commander.
Do they call the president? Let's go to Saudi Arabia. Do they call that man the president?
No.
But because it's a different country, it's a different type, it's a different people.
So you're saying his name was King Pharaoh?
No, Pharaoh is the name for the king.
Right.
That's the title.
So is he a king or is he a pharaoh?
Brother, you're not getting.
Or is he both?
Like Führer for Hitler. His position, and he is the Führer.
Right.
The ruler of the ancient times, he is the Pharaoh.
Right.
The ruler of America right now is the president.
Right.
The ruler over Judah right now,
I disagree.
Jewish people is the prime minister.
Right.
It's the
If
government.
you're Russian, you are the czar.
It was the
In
government.
China,
A pharaoh. The house of Pharaoh was a government. That was just a government on a hierarchy.
Brother,
the same way the pyramid is.
You just said the government was the house of Pharaoh.
No, I'm saying
So what does Pharaoh
they
mean?
had to govern themselves.
So what does Pharaoh mean?
To rule.
No, what you got?
This is the blue letter for Pharaoh.
Oh, well, the brother got it.
Yeah.
Right.
You got it.
So this is the blue letter for the word Pharaoh. It goes back to Pa'ar, which means the common title of the king of Egypt.
Read that one more time.
The common title of the king of Egypt.
The king of Egypt, their title was Pharaoh. That's what we're trying to get you to understand. Just like in Israel, the king, we didn't have a title.
How many can reign at once?
One.
Rule one, right?
One.
So how many kings can rule at once?
One.
There's never been more than one king at one time?
I mean, where? You gotta, if you could give me a place.
Right.
You can't say, you can say in ancient Israel there was kings, but the northern and the southern kingdom, they split. Even when you go, hold on, brother, hold on.
What's the kingdom though? To get the king, that's what I'm not understanding.
What do you not understand?
Like,
I'm trying to get you.
I don't understand your Pharaoh point of perspective by saying Pharaoh was wiped away when they had so many different pharaohs over periods of time.
But there's one Pharaoh. The Pharaoh that rules at that time, nobody can usurp authority over that Pharaoh, just like nobody can usurp authority over King Solomon, nobody can usurp authority over King David. They're the top rule. That's the title.
Because they had a kingdom.
Huh?
They had a kingdom.
So Pharaoh had a kingdom.
And his kingdom was Egypt?
Yes.
It's not a kingdom.
How is that not a kingdom?
It was a region. It was just they had a government. a system like every other nation. They was a nation as well.
So is Israel,
from Ham.
Is Israel a region?
It's a bloodline.
But the kingdom of Israel, is that a kingdom?
No.
How is it?
It's not. It's who is Jacob. It's his land that was given to
We had a
him.
kingdom, right? And were the Egyptians?
We had a nation,
were
bro.
the Egyptians a people?
We had nations.
Brother, were the Egyptians a people?
Huh? Yeah, they were of Ham.
Yes, right?
Yes.
They came through the line of Ham.
Ham, Shem, and Japheth.
The Philistines were Egyptians, yes. But they had a people that lived in Egypt, right?
Of course.
So they were a people and they had a kingdom, right?
Yeah, but many people went in and out of Egypt.
I realize that.
Okay, and Joseph went into Egypt, right?
Yes.
And what did him in was he knew Raymond was coming, right? He had he prophesied what would happen, and that's why Pharaoh let him reign next to him.
Right, next to him.
Yeah, next to him. I know he's not higher.
Right.
But that's because we're his bloodline. No, but no. But that's our bloodline, Joseph, and their bloodline was him. But when the Pharaoh came up that knew not of Joseph's people, that's when he started to afflict us in Israel. The Pharaoh never reigned more than maybe 10 years. Because a Pharaoh came up that knew not of Joseph. So who was that Pharaoh that knew not of Joseph's people? That's when Moses was there. No, because they started. No, it's not, because they started to afflict us then. They never afflicted us, but it was a place to go that had a government. We never went there. But the Pharaoh rose that knew not of that. So do we agree with that though? That they were welcomed there, right? So we cried out to the Most High because the Pharaoh came up and he afflicted us.
You're straying away from the point.
What's the point?
Hold on. Pharaoh, right? Doesn't matter who was in Egypt, the Hyksos. It don't matter if it was the people, the actual people of who does Pharaoh? Where does Egypt come from?
Mizraim.
Mizraim. Don't matter. There was a king that ruled in Egypt. That's name was Pharaoh.
Right.
That's title was Pharaoh.
It was never. That's the thing. It's not Egypt. That's another thing.
I'm trying to explain something to you. Hold on. Now, in the book of Jasher, it says that Pharaoh was the only one.
All right, we can leave the book of Jasher alone. We ain't got to get into the book of Jasher. We could just do it out on the word. We can leave that alone. But what I'm saying is,
but you brought up Jasher.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's good to read that. Who killed Cain?
It don't say that in the Bible.
Right. Yeah, see? So that's what I'm saying. But it does say that in the book of Jasher.
Listen, I can write a book right now.
Right.
Give me that many books. That's Ecclesiastes.
I'm not saying it's contradicting because it just elaborates.
No, but you have to show me.
So when he went to the city of Nod, it doesn't cover that. The Bible doesn't cover
it. Don't matter
what happened to Cain in the city of Nod.
Brother, it don't matter if it don't cover that. When you read about Yahweh Shah, it don't cover.
It doesn't matter.
Hold on. When you read about Yahweh Shah, it skips all the way from when he was 12 to all the way when he started his mission at the age of 30.
Okay.
I can write right now what he was doing. There's people out there right now that said he went to Egypt and studied under Pharaoh in India. It said he went to Egypt. It said he studied under these people, and that's where he learned his knowledge from. I can write a book right now and say he came to America. He found America. I could do that.
But where's
the proof though?
Because it's in the scripture. No. It's scripture that was handed down.
Show me the ancient documents on the book of Jasher. Show me the documents.
As far as what?
Where are the ancient primary documents? Scrolls that I can
the scrolls. Okay.
Where are those at?
Same as it came in a book. They had put it in a book.
Where?
Where? It was in a journal. I told you it was journals passed down that they had to put together. It wasn't written from the beginning to the end. Just like the Bible's not written from the beginning to the end.
We're dealing with actual scholarship. Right. You go in the Bible, you can read about the book of Isaiah. You can go in the Dead Sea Scrolls. You can go in the Masoretic text. You can go into the Septuagint, which is all coming from the text.
Before the Septuagint. What's before the Septuagint?
You can't come here. You can go to the 10th century, the 9th century. The Septuagint, that's the 2nd century BC.
All right.
The 1st century BC. You can go to these things which are ancient, ancient documents. You can't.
Ancient, yes. Okay. The Dead Sea Scrolls And also the Vulgate. You had the Vulgate before the Septuagint, and then you had the Book of Jasher.
No, the Vulgate is not before the Septuagint. The Septuagint is the oldest document that we have in the Scriptures. That's true. The Vulgate came around 500 BC. That's right. The Septuagint is 300, 200 BC.
That's in Greek.
It don't matter if it's in Greek. That's the
It
that's
does, because it was first read in Hebrew.
It don't matter. So give me the Book of Jasher.
Yeah.
Give me that written in the Greek.
No, I'm saying God's the Most High word. It was in Hebrew.
Give me let's just say
From
that.
Eber.
Give me the
That's
book.
the lineage.
Give me the Book of Jasher. 1,000 years ago,
Forget the Book of
2,000
Jasher,
years ago. I'm just sticking to
it's going to elaborate more and go on to more things that if you never read it, I don't want to talk about it because you can't say it does this and does that if you haven't read it. Because I read the King James, and I read the Book of Jasher, and I read the Book of Enoch.
It matters because there's contradiction. That's what we're trying to
But you haven't read it.
It's contradict because you don't want to even go there.
How do you know?
You just said let's get away from it.
No, because you don't know it. So why would I talk to you about it? I know about. We both agree on this.
Well, brother, real quick, I read the Book of Jasher.
Right. Oh, you read it in and out? Okay.
And
so
there's I'm speaking the same words he's speaking.
Okay.
There's contradiction. Now,
so even
real quick, that's what we're trying to show you. It doesn't say it in the Bible.
No,
now,
you say you read the Book of Jasher in and out.
You said what, brother?
You say you read the Book of Jasher in and out.
But that's what I'm trying to say, brother.
Yeah, so
brother, real quick. What we're trying to say is that that's a contradiction.
How?
We can real quick.
It never says somebody killed Cain in the Bible.
I had some.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, because even when you go into Enoch.
Now let's stick back to Cain. Cain went to the city of Nod, right? Then what happened to him?
Brother,
when you read the Book of Jasher, you would know.
Brother, real quick. We're trying to deal with the contradictions. We're trying to tell you that even if you bring that up, it's not because you're trying to say that it's an elaboration.
Yeah, it elaborates more on the detail
that's what the
of what
brother he brought the point. What if someone made a book and they elaborated on what Jesus was doing or Christ is doing from 12 years old to 30? Is that book to be taken seriously?
If it's scripture, yes. Believe it. Christ said, "Believe on it. Believe on me, as Scripture has said."
But what makes something scripture, though? That's the point. Because I can write something right now.
Okay, but we all agree it's been tampered with, right? But it's just enough meat on the bone.
Show me where it's been tampered with.
With the Bible?
Yes.
It's not in Hebrew. That's your point right there.
That doesn't mean. Give me that.
Bro, different things have different meanings in Hebrew.
Brother, you're straying all the way from the point, and I don't think you're getting.
No, but
give me that.
This is Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 11. You know, for with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people.
Right?
Yeah, I agree. Most
of our people speak.
That's King James right there. That's what he's referring to, King James.
Right.
Yeah, but
so
we
can't bring that point up that it's not Hebrew.
But we have to edify and interpret it in Hebrew.
Right.
So because it has different meanings.
Okay, that's fine. But you read about the King James, it's one of the top literary works of all time.
Yeah, because he authorized it because everything else was in Latin. And it was the closest, most of it was in Latin. And it was the closest to Hebrew that we could get to. So if he had to interpret, authorized the Bible, he authorized the Bible.
Chapter 12.
I believe in the Bible. Right?
And it's Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 12. And further by these, my son, be admonished.
Right, be admonished, be warned. Go on.
Of making many books, there is no end.
What did that say?
Of making many books, there is no end.
It says making many books. There's a lot of people that write stuff down, try to elaborate on the scriptures.
100, but it was taken out, bro. That's the thing.
Listen, bro. If you want to have a dialogue, you can't keep. I'm gonna let you.
Yeah, I don't have that much time.
But you can't. But I get that. But you can't just keep over talking.
Okay.
Especially when I'm trying to make a point. I'm gonna let you make your point, bro. Trust me. Read that one more time.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 12. And further by these, my son, be admonished of making many books. There is no end.
Because there's a whole bunch. There's so many books out there. The book of the book of Adam, the Gospel of Thomas.
Right.
The book of Wars of the Lord. There's so many books.
Yeah, I don't agree with them books. I gotta go. I'm just saying, it's all scriptures, and the word was with the Most High, and it's all His word inspired from the prophets. And it's all prophecy. So you know it's prophecy, and you know it fulfills itself. So you would read the book of Enoch, and you would read the book of Jasher to see if it contradicts itself. You can't say something contradicts itself if you taste one food, but you haven't tasted the next food. So how you know what the next
brother,
food
what's your name,
like?
brother?
More.
Brother Maury?
Yeah, more.
Brother Moore, okay.
Yes,
Real quick,
less.
if the brother's speaking to you, you can't cut the brother off.
No, I gotta
the
go
brother
back.
hasn't done that to you, but you've been showing yourself out of order, brother. You can't be doing that.
He never let me.
Brother, that's a lie. That'll be a bold-faced lie. We have it on camera. So listen, just give the brother a few minutes. We know you gotta go back to work. Just let him bring out what you gotta bring out. Then you can speak afterwards, okay?
He just said about the books.
Okay, so can we start?
Saying the books was taken
Listen,
out,
brother Maury,
bro.
let the brother just talk real quick.
I'm
You've been
just
cutting the
saying
brother
the books
off.
You're not saying the books wasn't taken out. You're not saying it.
always the book with scriptures, bro.
Okay, bro. All right,
It
brother.
wasn't, they didn't have apocryphal separate. They
Brother,
didn't
I
have-
can write
they
something
were-
right now
they
called a
wrote.
scripture, kid.
You're not a scribe.
Anybody can write
You're not
something
a
right now.
scribe.
So who wrote Jasher then? Who wrote Jasher? So, but it don't matter when it don't matter now.
No, I'm saying because
It do matter. What if the person you said you just said
I believe in the scripture.
so you said it was in the Bible. When was the book of Jasher in the Bible, bro?
Right.
It was taken out. The apocryphal was taken out.
Yes, the apocryphal was taken out.
The book of Enoch was taken
The
out.
book of Jasher and Enoch was never in there, bro. That's
The
what
book
I'm
of
trying to show
Jasher,
you.
the book of Jasher
All right, bro,
was
listen.
older
Listen, you gotta put those books up, bro. That's
right.
Just go keep the fuck.
I'm telling you, like, if you haven't read it, you won't understand. Read it, then.
All right, brother.
You know,
Hey, take a flyer with you, Ken. Somebody go back to Ecclesiastes 12. And he's not comprehending what we're trying to say. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's 12 and go to 12.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 12.
Go on.
Bring it up.
And further, by these, my son, be admonished of making many books. There is no end.
Right, because there's books upon, but like I was going into, you can read about Enoch, Jasher, they got the Gospel of Thomas, the book of Adam and Eve, and bro, listen, the book, the Bible, it doesn't expound on everything. The Bible wasn't made to be a biography of, what's that called? A biography of all these men.
Right.
No, if that was the case, the Bible would never end.
Right.
No, it's going into key accounts of what we need to know that the Most High gave us.
Right.
It's not going to expound upon what happened to Cain and who killed Cain. That doesn't matter.
Right.
The fact of the matter is what the Most High gave us is what He gave us. What He gave us is what we need to know. We don't need to know who killed Cain and what he did and not. And you have something?
Yeah, I was gonna bring this out.
Yeah, go ahead.
In the book of Enoch, it talks about the birth of Melchizedek, which is
Which is crazy.
which is crazy. How I mean, and I want to get to. I'll read it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just so brothers can know to stray away from this.
I want to go back to the point I had too. Somebody in Jasher 80 and 40, 81 and 40.
You want to get that first or you want me to
81 and 40. No, you can read it.
And this is the book of Enoch, I'll say chapter 71, and I want to start at I'm going to start at verse 15.
Yeah.
It says, now let us go quickly and let us bury her secretly, and the Lord will cover up the scandal of our shame. And they placed upon them on the bed, and they wrapped her around with black garments and set her in the house prepared for burial. They dug a grave in secret. So this is a woman that was dying. Now, this woman that was dying, she was giving birth, supposedly giving birth to Melchizedek, which is off. I'm gonna keep reading. And a child came out from the dead Sopanim, and he sat on the bed at her side. And No and Ner came in the birth of Sopanim, and they saw the child sitting behind the dead Sopanim and wiping his clothing. So he had clothes on already. And they saw the child, and Noah and Noah were very terrified with great fear because the child was fully developed physically, like a 3-year-old, and he spoke with his lips, and he blessed the Lord, and Noah and Noah looked at him, and behold, the badge of priesthood was on his chest. Now I'm gonna jump down. It says, and Noah and Noah hurried, and they washed the child, and they dressed him in garments of priesthood, and they gave him the holy bread, and he ate it, and they called his name Melchizedek. And that's all according to scripture.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you want to get it.
Yeah, I get it. What's that? Is that Hebrews 8th chapter with no lineage, no, you know what I'm talking about. Because that's crazy.
Yeah.
Even when you go into one of those books, it says that Nimrod killed Esau.
Right.
But
With
Nimrod
Jasher.
is Jasher.
Right, Jasher.
But Nimrod is 1,000 years, maybe. I don't know how long it was, but he didn't even live during the time of Esau.
Right.
To say that he killed, and we're gonna go into more because there's a whole bunch of. If you got any more,
I got one. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna hold
I've
on.
got the precept already.
Oh, come.
Go ahead, you can read that.
And it's the book of Hebrews, chapter 7 and verse 1. Bring it out. For this Melchizedek,
Right.
king of Salem,
Go on.
priest of the Most High, Yahweh,
Right.
who met Abraham returning from the slaughter of the kings,
Right, you read that in Genesis, the 14th chapter, I believe. Go on.
and bless him, to whom also Abraham gave a tenth part of all, first being by interpretation king of righteousness.
Right, that's what Malak Tazadok in the Hebrew, Melchizedek, right? Read.
And after that also king of Salem, which is king of peace, without father, without mother, without descent, having neither beginning of days nor end of life.
What did I say?
So like having neither beginning of days nor end of life.
Right, so Melchizedek, he just appeared to Abraham. Right. There's no account of him having a mother or father. There's no account of that. There's more on that. Read.
Read it on. But made like unto the Son of God, abideth a priest continually.
Go on.
Now consider how great this man was, unto whom even the patriarch Abraham gave the tenth of the spoil.
That's it on that, isn't it?
Yeah, you wanted that first part.
Yeah. And so he had. It says he had neither beginning of day. Read that one more time.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
Without father, without mother.
What did that say?
Without father, without mother.
But what did that say?
Hold on.
That said he had a father.
Right. And the mother.
That said he had a mother.
A dead mother.
A dead mother.
Came out born from that dead mother.
See?
Yeah.
So how can we justify? Because he kept saying that. Oh, I believe in scripture. This, and that. What determines something to be scripture?
Right.
If it's clearly contradicting what's in the Bible, that's obviously not scripture. Just like I was saying, everybody up here can write a book right now and just say that that's scripture. He said, "Oh, we not scribes," but then he say, "Oh, who wrote Jasher?" He said it don't matter. It don't matter, but if we write something, it matters.
Right.